Shawn Clement here at the Richmond Hill Golf Learning Center, headquarters for Wisdom in Golf. And yes, Bubba is right again. You know, when you don't have to worry about your golf swing, what happens is you now have to rely on the instincts and what works and what doesn't. And I remember when I was learning my trade from both sides of the golf ball, I still remember to this day that I was on the temporary driving range at Le Géant in Mont-Tremblant, Quebec, back in 1999. I was director of instruction over there, and I was having a session on my own. And I was practicing my left-handed swing at the time, and I noticed that when I had that particular target in my mind and I was going for the target, I was flushing my shots. And then I would sit and think about, well, what is it about, you know, that's causing these flush shots? And then I'd start thinking about body parts, and I start shanking them, and I start pulling them, and I start slicing them. My swing felt like crap. And then I went, well, wait a second. Let me go back to what was working before. What was working before? Oh, yeah, I was focused on the target. So I go back on the target and I begin flushing them again. Boy, there's a lot of wisdom in that. And that's what Bubba's talking about. And that's why he and his caddy go back, and his caddy keeps reminding him of what works. And what works for him and what will work for you is being focused on the target. But on the target is not enough, okay? If you're focused on the target, yeah, you could steer it out there, you can shove it out there, force it, all that stuff. Or you could effortlessly whip the club into a nice release. And you'll see at minute 2:39, I put a video of Bubba answering questions on what he thinks about when he's playing out there. And I want you to have a look at that video. And it's in the description, so I have the link pasted in the description here, so you're going to have a really nice time looking at that. And, you know, it's very basic coming out of his mouth because there is nothing else for him to think about. And so what I want you to really pay attention to is, why does Bubba curve the ball so much? Well, think about ping pong. Any ping pong players out there? Tennis players? You'll notice that when you're playing a good level of tennis, you know how to spin the ball. And especially in ping pong, it's all about the spin. So if I say to you, topspin backhand down the line of that ping pong table, if you're a ping pong player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You already have the feel of that release. So in golf, because we're dealing with an arc or angular momentum. Angular momentum meaning if I was playing soccer and I was kicking a soccer ball toward the poster there, you'd notice my kick is coming in on an angle. When I plant that left hip into the ground, that right leg is going to be revolving around that left hip. So if you pay attention to soccer and you watch soccer, you'll rarely see a straight flying soccer ball, especially the powerful ones. The powerful ones always have a nice curvature to them, okay? Well, it's the same thing in golf. You look at Adam Scott that just won on the weekend. The beautiful draw around that bunker on the 18th hole at PGA National. You really have to know how to work the ball in order to perform in those conditions, especially when it's a lot of wind, a lot of crosswinds, and a lot of obstacles out there. So Bubba typically excels. That's why he won last week at Riviera. He knows how to curve the ball around that golf course, and it's a shot maker's golf course. I've played there, and it is absolutely fantastic, and it really lights up his imagination extremely well. That's what it did for me as well. I had a great round of golf there. So we have a target, but we have a way by which we're going to get to the target. I want to pick. You ask Bubba, he says, don't tell me where my club face is, don't tell me where my swing plane is. I couldn't give a crap, pardon my French. But watch me hit this shot to that target. I'm going to start it there and I'm going to end it there. So he always has a picture, a moving picture in his mind. That's exactly how Jack Nicklaus used to play and still does. He's always looking at how he's going to get the ball there. And that's what lights up your kinetic chain. So if I'm throwing something in that direction, my brain's going to go get the ground, use the ground to get my body out of the way, and that right there starts that kinetic chain through the core, through my shoulder, through my elbow, through my hand. So there's that movement that I have toward the target. So if you don't have a target out there, and you're thinking about body parts over here, so your brain's over here, then what? Oh yeah, hit the ball. Oh, I went over the top again. I got this crazy right shoulder and right hand. I got too much right hand. I got to keep my right hand relaxed on the club. And now you're looking for band-aids. You're looking for faults where your brain didn't do anything wrong. You told it to go to the ball. You said, find that position, hit the ball. It did exactly what you asked it to do. So don't go blaming your system. You didn't do anything wrong. Well, how about we go that way? Take a page out of Jack's and Bubba's book and mine. We're going that way. I'm going to keep out to wet paint. I'm going to have a nice little draw. So I'm going to aim here, close the face, feel like I'm behind the ball. Okay, now it feels like I'm on a keep out, and my face is closed enough to make it curve back towards wet paint. And if you look at that release that Bubba has at minute 2:39 in that video I just put down, you're going to see a beautiful backhand ping pong topspin release out of his lead hand. You'll see that right elbow kick down and that right hand kick up, and that's what releases his trailing hand over that and allows him to create this beautiful draw that's going to go around the left edge of that bunker back to the pin and feed its way into that flagstick and stay away from the trouble and the short side of the green, okay? If you short side yourself, it costs you a lot of money out there on tour, so that's why it's so important to be able to work the ball. Not only is it, for that reason, but then instinctively the players are going, well, shoot, every time I look for a curve, I know what that's going to feel like. And I got this feel because the only way that you can curve it is by letting it go, by feeling that nice release. So I've got a draw release and a fade release. I've got a high fade, low draw, so my brain knows exactly what those sensations are going to be like. So now I'm able to marry my focus, right, where my target is, to the feel I'm going to use to get there. Now I have a complete action. So I'm going to hit a draw. First swing of the day, so I'm going to be very smooth about this. So a nice release to the right of that wet paint sign towards keep out, which is to the right of that intermediate point. I'm going there, I'm going there. Yes. I felt, I could put my hand in the fire right now, you guys. I felt that draw release go to the right edge of that intermediate point into keep out, and that's, the double E of keep, I split the E's right on the nose, and that felt like the ball was going to curve back to the target. So, I hope this helps you clear up and complete what Bubba Watson was trying to explain. It's not his fault. He's not a teacher. I'm the teacher. So I am applying this to, hundreds of students every month, and they are speaking through me right now into you saying, yes, do what Shawn says. That release to that target works, and it will. Enjoy.